Hi, thanks for joining the SG Child Show today. I am really excited to bring this conversation to wonderful listeners. We often find ourselves aligned with the conversations, the people that we need the most in our lives. Isn't that the case and the truth? And sometimes even without my intervening, the universe seems to put the people into my show on the weeks and whatever the days that is perfect for me to keep the discussion going. Because little did you know, I've already been in this discussion with other people in this morning. So I'm so excited, and it's wonderful to have you here. Do I need to call you Dr. Beth? this is Beth Long. It's so nice to have you. Please introduce yourself. Let listeners know a little bit about you and what brought you here, and we'll get on with this great discussion.
Okay. My name is Beth Long, and I have been a licensed professional counselor I have been working in the field. I haven't been licensed for 20 years because it takes forever just to get licensed. But I've been working in the field for about 20 years. And then about, goodness gracious, 9 years ago now, I went back to school to learn how to do a type of therapy called ABA therapy, because counseling focuses on thoughts and feelings and ABA focuses more on like what you actually do with your thoughts and feelings. And so that's what I have been doing. I have a clinic in Montgomery, Alabama, and I have 2 books that I've written. And now I am just trying to reach, I kind of end up repeating myself a lot in my practice. And so I'm trying to reach more families.
I love that. Isn't that one of the most impossible challenges, it would seem? Finding the people that need us the most, that don't know how to find us, and we don't know how to find them. So, amen. You're here. You're going to reach, more people today. And of course, I'd love to, share you with other podcast friends and have you on their shows as well, especially some down in that South area that could really benefit from what you do and help you. Just the beauty of connections, isn't it? It's so important when we are in our professional and personal lives that we really try to be centered in what we're doing. And it sounds like you've kind of had this focus for quite some time. What really helped you hone in on that centering of this business and what it really means to you?
So most people in my field start because we grew up in families that are a little bit crazy.
Isn't that the case?
So that's what kind of started the journey. I just wanted to understand myself more, understand my parents more, all of that, my siblings more. And I have an older brother who has a lot of trauma, very, very, very intense trauma. And then I have a younger brother who's on the spectrum. And so there was a lot I wanted to understand and learn about. So that's where I started. The funny thing is, in the very beginning, I never wanted to work with children. And I think that's because at that time I had young children at home. And so I just want to be around more adults. Right. And now, I still love working with adults, but goodness gracious, you learn so much from children.
Oh,
They open your eyes to so many things.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And sometimes we don't even realize they are going to be the leaders and we'll be the followers.
Yes.
And I think that the more kind of accolades that you give them in that area of their life, like you're the boss of this, you take control of this, and you show me or teach me, kind of, wow, what a powerful and beautiful message that sends to our kids.
Yes.
That we recognize their value of their time and their, just being. I always like to, in fact, I just almost posted this morning. I might have. That I really truly believe that value and worth, and I want to always tell my kids this, they don't come from earning money or earning things from chores or the hard work you did. They come because you woke up You are there. You were born into this earth as this human, and you come with your own value and your own worth. And carrying that throughout your life wasn't anything I ever did. And so I really want to, like you said, I have like kind of this opportunity now with this new knowledge and everything, in this last 2 decades to really change how my children's existence can expand throughout their lifetime with different tools. So, fingers crossed, right? Yeah. Isn't that the case? Tell us about the learning process of writing the books and kind of how that started and what you hope to the message that people would receive.
So I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. So the book kind of started because I wrote articles for local magazines.
Mm.
I had a couple of different circular magazines across the Southeast reach out to me and say, well, one did, and then the other one saw it in Mac. Anyway, when I write a parenting article. So they started that way. And then I'm in the medical field, and the medical field is not reimbursing well across the country. It's kind of a big deal right now. And so I thought, wait, maybe I can put these together and make a little journal and sell it on Amazon. That's how it all kind of started. And I did that, and nothing happened. Nobody bought
in there.
So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna actually really follow through on this. And so I kind of rewrote both of them. One is on communication, one is on emotional regulation. And really intentional about, I failed horrifically as a parent. I have adult children now, but I can tell you everything not to do and everything I wish I knew. And I feel like the one thing that puts me at a massive advantage is now I've worked with thousands of children, and I've listened to children say, I wish my parents would do this. And or they've given me their viewpoint in a way that you don't necessarily get when you are the parent.
Yeah.
Because you're so focused on what you're focused on, And so then it just became like I really felt called by God to write it as what truly have I learned that parents need to know.
Yeah. What's the number one thing, if you could wrap it all up into one thing, that children want from their parents?
I would say, honestly, okay, so in younger years, they wish that their parents would join them more.
Mm-hmm.
So children feel like their parents talk too much, but don't do as much as they wish they did. So in younger years. And then as they get 12, 13, I cannot tell you, probably if I had $1 for every time a teenager had said it to me, I would be a millionaire. My parents never listened to me. My parents never listened. They just want to be heard. And I think we all feel like it's our responsibility to jump in when they say something that's kind of crazy, because they do. They say things that are crazy. But a lot of times I've learned if you just sit and listen, the teenager will go, that's not even really what I'm thinking. I just wanted to say that out loud. Or, you know what I mean? They already have the answer inside of them. They just need a safe place to say it.
I couldn't agree more. And I resonate with both I have an adult stepchild that I raised or, failed miserably and also have the opportunity now with a decade and 12-year later, my own biological children, to change and do differently what I learned. And boy, what an opportunity and a blessing. And I will never take it for granted. I will take advantage of it, but I'll never take it for granted. And in that, I really learned, maybe it was being a podcast host, the art of listening through never thinking about what I was going to say next, which is really hard as a host. Like what? How do you not know what you're going to say next?
Mm-hmm.
But it's in that I kind of mentioned this, just being like in the flow state. It's in this sense of listening with your whole being that you are able to connect and hear and only hope that you can respond in an according way that will be, helpful for your child, or especially your teen. I have teens now, and I think it's the best, most exciting, fun times that we've had. And I always remind them, hey, I've been a parent for a long time, but this is the first time I'm doing this with you. I'm doing this as a human myself. This is the first time I've been this age and you've been this age. This is the first time we're doing this together. Like,
Mhm.
we've got to be kind of on each other's sides that way.
Mhm.
And it's created such a neat connection. And I can only hope that when I look back into the adulthood of, these individuals, that I can see just the importance they've placed on connecting with other people, with their own children, with, their loved ones. Because I think that for me was something that was lost in my own childhood. I'm an only child of divorced parents, and there was a lot of alone time to be had. And, back then, it's interesting how our childhoods are like this tiny bit of time, yet they affect these hundreds, no, just kidding. Hundreds of years later. Really, it feels that way. It's like, oh my gosh, how am I still caught up on something that happened 30 years ago and it's still affecting me today? I think that's so fascinating sometimes, how our minds are so strong like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, connections, though, it's so meaningful to now have that opportunity.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. And it really is, right? That's really all it's about. It's the connection.
Yeah.
Everything else is secondary.
I hope that they really, really learn that, as long, with their, I'm pushing them to just be very honest about how they're feeling in every moment, and just really be honest with speaking it, because I think that that's something that we don't practice or teach enough as well, is like, well, like, be honest. How are you feeling? Do you want to do this? Yes, no, it's okay. No answer is wrong. All the answers are right, because it's what we need to know. Like, all that's what we need is, and I think having neurodiverse and autistic teenagers, it's a different style of communication that I've had to progress and almost make myself, create on our own. How have you found in communication with different individuals, how you've had to kind of adapt, I guess, suppose, to their needs?
It's that That's a great question. And it is, in our field, we say if you've met one person on the spectrum, you've met one person on the spectrum, because it's just so true. Right.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's the art, is learning that every interaction is different, and it's okay that it's different. Right. Like, work a lot with neurodiverse teen girls who never stop talking. And so you're trying to like mesh through, okay, what let me put aside all the details. What are you actually saying under all of this?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, and this is probably a difference between male and females, but it's not necessarily true across the board. But, and then with the boys, I feel like I'm like dragging it out. Like, what did you do yesterday? Did you have fun? Did you hate it? Did you, like, so it's just being open, being available, but also realizing everyone's communication is at a different level, and really respecting that and understanding it, and never assuming anything. I think so many people assume rudeness or assume aloofness or assume no, no, no. It's truly just a communication difference. Like,
Yeah.
it's that simple. It has nothing to do with their character. And I think that's where so many adults get it wrong.
Yeah. I feel lucky that I read the 4 agreements and I tried to pass
Mhm.
on, don't take it personally. Like, I send that text message sometimes to my teens. Remember, don't take it personal. It's not about you. It was this person's reaction. It had nothing to do with you. Yes, you were, verbally tornadoed upon, but it wasn't really like you. So it's a hard lesson to learn. And I think that when we can help those around us with those kind of strengths, that it's so much easier for them. And I can imagine so many teens and children being able to feel so safe and so comfortable with your way of interacting with them and the way that you believe, because I have seen it firsthand with our own son, who was non-speaking for many years, and those who had no belief in him, oh, he wouldn't give them the time of day. But there was those few therapists that were just like, wait a second, he's spelling the word elephant, he's 3, are you kidding me? Like, he's doing algebra at 5, and what? And they kicked us out of school for that because we were too far ahead and they couldn't help us. So good luck. And it's just, it's fascinating when you give that percentage of a child that, yes, I believe you, I understand you. And then they are like, okay, I can be myself. I can show you what I'm made of, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it is. And it's just, yeah. And I do, I mean, I think if I could do anything, it would be that, like, help people understand that just because, there's a communication delay, or just because we call it splintered skills, right? Like a kid
Yeah.
who can't speak, but they can spell. That's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and it's amazing. And it also says nothing about his character.
Yeah.
I wish I could get that across to so many people.
It's so hard. And
I'm sure you were told he's defiant, he's rude, I'm sure you were told all kinds of things.
and not him specifically, luckily, because he is maybe just so tender and sweet natured, but his sister, definitely. And I would say, just like you said, always assuming that she's quiet, she's, depressed or stuck up or, all of these things. No, she is brilliant beyond your imagination. She's observing everything that's happening. She's absolutely knowing and feeling and seeing who she can be safe with and who she cannot. And she will completely keep her guard up. Unlike her mother, who has unabandoned, trust for everyone all the time and is like constantly getting run over by 18-wheel trucks of emotional disaster. So, there's not enough to be said for the individuals who others assume and look at as, and then they turn around and become these brilliant mind change makers,
Yes.
People who say no, disruptors who really change the system. And I mean, let's be honest, you and me, Beth, we're doing that with our way of thinking, with the way we're communicating with the children of today.
Oh, I love that you said that. I hope, I believe that is true. I want it to be more true every day.
I do too, because I think it all starts with that centered intention of really wanting to know who an individual and a human is at that core.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not enough of those people wanting to be the receivers and the listeners for those people, of everyone.
Yeah, no, so true. So true.
Yeah. What type of social or rather emotional regulation, at what age do you think it's a good idea to start working on those skills, and how do we start introducing them?
Oh, I love that question. I think you can start as early as you want. You just cannot expect it to take hold until about a developmental age of 8. So, for some kids that may be 12 and for some kids that may be 6. But I'm a big believer in all thoughts and emotions are welcome, all behaviors are not.
Mhm.
So you can be as mad as you want to be, you can be as sad as you want to be, but just learning how to say it or act it out appropriately. And so for some kids for a lot of kids we start with just like removing them to a quieter situation and just sitting with them. I'm not going to try to talk them through it. I'm not, because it's okay that you feel the emotion, right? It's completely okay. My favorite way to teach that skill is games. And so starting, as soon as a kid can understand something as simple as Candyland and then I'm super open and honest and I'll say, I'm going to change the rules so that you're going to lose. And I know it's going to upset you and I know it's going to make you mad. And we're just going to practice going, I'm so angry. And then we'll play again. And the kid may knock over the game board 20 times before they go, I'm so angry. But I think that's where so many people get it wrong is as soon as the kid knocks over the game board, they go, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, it's a skill. It's a skill. It's a skill I'm still learning. I'm not emotionally regulated all the time at all. Somebody in our clinic yesterday, an adult, like walked through and slammed doors because she was upset. And we just let her be upset because we all feel that way sometimes, right? But so I think you can start really young as long as you know the process is long.
Mhm.
And the goal is to just help that child learn to sit with themselves in whatever feeling they're having.
Mhm.
Because all feelings are good, all feelings are welcome. I think, and the other thing is, I think so many parents are just trying to, they equate happy with healthy. And no, all of the feelings are great. I learn a lot from being sad. I learn a lot from being angry, so all feelings are welcome. It's just, we just have to learn to sit with them and be comfortable with them.
Mhm. And really practicing, I find that something I'm needing to kind of address more is that identification of those emotions. Just because a lot of things are coming out as just
Yes.
one face, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But those faces, they come from different places. So it's almost like your winter face, your summer face, your spring face, your fall face. Well, you don't have the same face on it as you did last time. So I know it's not,
Yes. Yes.
we're trying to really uncover like the easiest way to just, what is that? Like, is it embarrassment? Is it confusion? Are you really just upset? Or is it, and oftentimes it is a self punishment or something.
Yes.
It's not even an out, it's not even from something else. It's
Right.
within themselves. And it's like helping them sort through that and say, well, next time maybe you make a different decision that doesn't leave you with this feeling you have now. So hopefully and it isn't that whatever, you should have remembered that from last time you did it, but that's just not the case. Sometimes we fail over and over again. We were watching something and somebody said like, thank goodness you failed because you finally learned or you were able to try to learn or something like that. And
Oh,
my
I like
husband
that.
was like, I'm going to remind them more often that it's okay. Like failing is a good way to learn. Like you're going to learn something when you do. So welcome it, welcome failing a little bit
Yes.
more. So yeah, there's just there's so many things, right, to teach. And
Yes.
if you are an intentional parent, you really want to take hold of all of the tools and resources you can to help give them the best nurtured, fostered life you can.
Yes. And as an adult, have you ever read the book Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown?
No,
Okay,
I
highly
haven't read
recommend
it.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like the culmination of all of her research, and she defines 80 emotions. And so I will go to that book because sometimes I just want the word. To
Yeah.
explain how I'm feeling. Like I know I'm frustrated, but I know it's more than frustrated. So I'll just give you an example of one. Resentment is one of the emotions in the book. And so she says the name of the emotion and the definition of the emotion. Resentment means we're not willing to ask for what we want.
Mm.
And I was like, dang, I feel resentment a lot. And it's that simple. So it's a great resource to really, when you're having a complex feeling and you're trying to get to the root of it, it's right there. So it's a great.
I love that. One time during an IEP, I had this have a friend who is a special education attorney, and he came to the IEP with me just as my friend. But just because his name attorney is on the screen, everybody acted a little differently that day. But one of the things he challenged was that, the student we're dealing with doesn't have the capacity to offer in a journal or in a writing all the specific ways that they're feeling because they don't know what those feelings are and they don't know how to express them.
Mhm.
So he put it back on the teachers. Now, why don't you start a program where you start teaching these emotions and these types of things rather than assuming that this child has this tools and education that you have as a 35-year-old teacher. And, why don't you teach this person how to have these tools? Wow, I was so impressed that day. I was just like, yes, this is exactly what needs to happen.
Yes.
And they found this website. I wish I knew. It was like a constellation or a star map or something, but similar, where it had like a group and it would say, mad. And then you would kind of expand on it and it would have these little arms out of what other emotions could fit within that
I love that.
category. Yeah. And very accessible for teens and for, it was an app that you could just click on and go to this and blow it up and look at these things and technology, right? And so, yeah, having tools like that, we don't use it enough. Like I need to get it on my phone so that I have it accessible now. I hate it when we know things and we don't do them. But,
You should put it in the show notes though, because I would love that app.
yes, I will. Thank you for reminding me. I will do that, and that'll be great for everybody that's listening, and for maybe your clients, forward. So that's exciting. Tell us about we talked about the emotional kind of regulation and things, and it's so important. We're still working on that as adults. Like, I don't think we ever stop working on emotional regulation.
I don't know anybody who's mastered it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, no.
And, communication, ever since I think for me, I think I started to understand more about my son's communication early on because it was in like reverse puzzle language, if you will. It didn't make any sense to the world and they were just these random words that sometimes he could spell and so he could write things out, but he couldn't say things, correctly. And so it was just always this, how do I become the puzzle master of my own child's communication? And it really opened my eyes to the fact that, and I'm going to say this, like behavior, we're not talking about behavior as far as like naughty behavior or bad behavior, but I'm just talking about literal action and behavior. But for me, I had to recognize that his behavior was his communication.
Yes.
And that's how I had to listen to what he needed more than anything else. And having this sense of not had that opportunity to parent like that prior, going back over, like you said, all of the failures of what I should have done differently and how I should have listened or acted or all of those things. But now presented with this way that I would have to learn how to communicate, first of all, in a way that wasn't taught in a text or anything else. It was a learned experience. but it also gave me the opportunity to be more aware of all of the communication, even with animals around me. Now I'm lucky to have that, kind of knowledge, if you will.
Mhm.
And I can just kind of put a whole umbrella over that. But
Yes. Yeah.
that's a hard one for parents, behavior.
It's a very hard one for parents. And I think so language and attention are kind of built in the brain at the same time. And so I think a lot of parents don't understand that in and of itself. And so if you're struggling in the language world, of course you're going to struggle in the attention world. And so then it does look like bad behaviors. But like you said, it's not. It's the behavior is the language. And I mean, I think that is the biggest struggle. But I also, it's a lot of sitting back and observing.
Yeah.
Especially if you have do you know what a gestalt language learner is?
Yes.
It sounds like your
That
son.
was my daughter.
Oh, your daughter is one. Okay. Yeah, and so it's like they'll take a script and apply it correctly to a situation, or so you have to spend so much time with your children and observing and going, "Oh, she's talking about that drink from that movie. That's what she wants," or
Oh,
things like that. And so it's just a lot of sitting back, not judgmentally, not making assumptions, but just going, "Okay, what does that sound mean? What does that?"
curiosity.
Yeah.
That's what you have to have.
Yes.
Not assumptions, not expectations. Heavens, no. Expectations just lead to disappointment. And you know what assume means, everyone. I'm not even going to say it on my wonderful, beautiful parenting podcast today, but then we would have to mark that explicit box at the end. But and so the more we are curious, especially with our kiddos, and if you're a teacher, the more you are curious about your students' desires, wants, and their accommodations, even, then the better you will be serving them
Yes.
altogether.
Yes. Yes. Very. Yes. Yes. It is. It is. And I would also say I don't think people are always aware. People are always aware when a child has expressive language delays. They're not always aware when they have receptive language delays. So
Very interesting.
yeah. So stepping back and being very curious about that, because they do immediately go, "Well, you're being defiant."
Yeah.
No, you may have lost them on word 3 of that sentence. That means nothing other than you have to do a better job of helping them understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Ah,
Using your body, using everything you can around you.
yeah. Parents, did you hear that? It is not your child's burden to help you understand what they are communicating. That is on you. That is your burden. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that it is up to you. It is not literally up to, especially a child that doesn't have the cognitive, care to be able to do that. Then that's just crazy. So please remember that you need to be the ones that are gently nudging your own curiosity, your own opening your mind, letting go of some maybe expectations that other people had on you as a child.
Yes.
I think oftentimes we want to repeat those. Well, it happened to me, so it's gonna happen to you. I think let's go back to that book of emotions or something. Resentment much? Let's figure this out and rewrite this script. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. 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 And it's just so it's such an important building block. And if you don't appreciate that your child is in that stage of developing it, and it's your job to help it, and all the adults around you have to come in and join too, but that causes so much chaos and problems. And
It really does. It really does. Chaos. What did I read yesterday? Oh my gosh, my mind just keeps going back to all these things. Chaos is the oh, I can't remember it now. Dang it. Oh well. I would have to remember. It'll come to me right at the end, probably, or something. Isn't that the case? I think that it's so important that we recognize, especially the needs of our own children. And when our own family members disagree, you have to be a strong, strong individual to say, that doesn't work for our family. We are not being offensive to you. We are not trying to be, disregard family tradition, whatever it may look like, cultural, anything. If you have to accommodate your child in a way that others around you don't necessarily understand, you can try to teach them as well as you can.
Mhm.
You can send them off with information to go teach themselves and say, hey, you want to be a help? Go learn some things and help to unlearn some other things that you might have packed up in there.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that you always, and I think that, we have to remember diagnoses and family conditions can be so isolating for parents. They can feel so alone. So even though we're here talking about it, we're saying it happens for millions of people. That experience of just being, and I can't even imagine, and I won't even try to imagine what it's like to be a single parent, because I am so lucky to have an amazing husband and father to my kids who is just as important and prioritizes their care and their well-being. And he had a sister with Down syndrome, and she passed away over a decade ago, but she really helped me to understand how caring you can be for those in your family, and seeing him kind of have that care for this other human, it was just so, it gave me so much strength
Mhm.
to know that, like, okay, I can do this too, and I can accept this little person that I don't quite understand either yet, and really just let him show me kind of how to embrace this new idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, powerful. Definitely. Where can we go to connect more with you? Your website? Where can we find your books? We need all of the good information.
I am Dr. Beth Long on most, like, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those places, Pinterest. But my website is worksofwondertherapy.com. And if you want a little pop up box will show when you go to the website, and you can just ask a question, and I'll get back to you. And then you can buy the book on Amazon. I only have one is on Amazon right now. It's called Beyond Words: The Art of Effective Communication, of Effectively Communicating with Your Child.
Mm.
The other one is going to be Beyond Emotions: The Art of Raising Resilient Children.
And tell me the website again. I had it and then I stopped.
That's
Started listening.
okay. Worksofwondertherapy.com.
Oops. I'm typing, people. Sorry if you're listening and wondering, why is she quiet now? I know. I love StreamYard because I can just pop up these wonderful works. Oh, I didn't put oven correctly. Oh, goodness. You know, this is why you should do things ahead of time. But hey, some days we just do it on the cuff.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
wonder
We're
there.
all doing the best we can.
Exactly. This has been such a wonderful discussion, and I really would love to stay in touch. And if anything, for you comes up and you want to come on and talk about it and let anybody know, we'd love to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope all of my listeners will go follow Dr. Beth Long on all the social medias. Go to worksofwondertherapy.com and look for those amazing books. I have already forgotten the complete names of them, but they're on the website, and I'm sure that I'll have them in the show notes for sure. I just so grateful that this service is available, that you are out there available for these families. what does it look like? Do you have online? Is it in person? Kind of run us through that for a second.
We do both. And what I have learned in my practice is I mean, I love the children. I love working with the children, but if I can teach the parents, then they teach the children, right? So we can do online and in person, and we love working with the parents and really helping them, little bitty things, like probably at least once a day I have a really in-depth potty training discussion,
Mhm.
because that is such a huge hurdle for a lot of families. And all from that all the way to today, I helped a dad make a 6-month plan for a 17-year-old who
I
um,
love that.
is still struggling with social skills, but has a lot of strengths. And so, well, how do we build on this but work on this and all of that? So
Yeah.
yeah, online or in person.
Fantastic. Well, there you go, listeners. Now you know that you are going to be able to reach out to her if this is something that resonates with you. I know this conversation has been so rewarding for me, and I'm sure that you've gotten the same out of it. So, thank you so much for your time today. And I really look forward to staying in touch.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for all that you do and how you inspire so many people.
Oh, thank you so much. It's it's what I do, right? It's like I just wake up and here I am. Who guessed I'd have the lucky life I have? Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.